Make sure.
Let's take a look at an upcoming Sonic blockbuster. Virginia and North Carolina. Virginia's won 10 of their last 11. Well, when you think about what Virginia's doing, they started to sell back here.
No.
But he was at the very offensively. They had some things. So North Carolina, who struggled losing 5 of their last 6, gets Virginia trying to do that in the home game.
Damn it.
Missed all but 37 minutes of the last time out, so I know he'll be looking forward to that. But the Tar Heels
Okay.
win in the worst way.
Good. The comments are coming up. Hi, Joseph. Because it's just a bad year. Frankly, it's just a bad year, and that's all I'm gonna say about the North Carolina college basketball, because it's just not our year, frankly, and we have no 3-point shooting, and that's all I'm gonna go with there. But the main stuff from the Braves spring training today is that it was the mandatory report dates, and Marcell Ozuna continues to annoy everyone. Said that the reason his throwing was terrible is because he was dealing with shoulder inflammation. He was out enough during 2021 and 2022 to be able to get that shoulder fixed, so I don't like the excuses. And he should have been the first one in camp, given how much he struggled and things of that nature, and the off the field stuff. He just needs to put his head down and do his work, because I honestly think if he doesn't hit like 350, I don't. Today was the mandatory report date for spring training. So if you didn't report, that would have been a bad thing. But I'm saying Marcell Ozuna made himself look even worse than he already did with his off the field woes, and then blaming shoulder inflammation for terrible throwing, and saying that he knows he has fans, he's not worried about the other ones. That's just not a good look to me. So I think if he doesn't hit like 350, it's going to be gross. And I don't think he should make the roster unless he hits 350. Just honestly my opinion on Marcell Ozuna. But that was the big thing today. And Kyle Wright is dealing with cortisone shots in his shoulder, but he feels good, feels fresh, feels healthy. We are just yes, it does. Joseph, it definitely does represent a guy that has the attitude of just give me my money, I don't really care. And last year, Max Fried would have put up more competitive at-bats at the time that Marcell Ozuna was sparingly playing. But Kyle Wright was dealing with some shoulder stuff, but he feels really good with the cortisone shot, really fresh. He is just going to be held out at the beginning of spring training. And he still should be ready for the start of regular season. He will get probably a couple of starts at the tail end of spring training. He doesn't seem concerned, so I'm not going to be on that. It's pretty much, and Ronald and Eddie are going to play a little bit more frequently at the beginning of spring training because of of the World Baseball Classic. They want to make sure the Braves want to make sure they see those two guys before they go compete for their countries. Hey Hudson. We just got done with Marcell Ozuna. The Marcell Ozuna saga of it all, because he lovely made a comment today. Yes, that Joseph, I said that. That's why they will be playing earlier in spring training so the Braves can make sure they look good and all of that. Kyle Wright dealing with the shoulder stuff, but he doesn't seem concerned, so that is good. Yeah, Sean Murphy is going to be epic to watch this year. His workouts have already made my mouth water, so I'm really excited for that. And I really think the WBC is going to be really good for Eddie, to get more reps and to get more at bats and things of that nature. So that is good. Elvis Andrus signed with no, I think those are it. Chadwick Trump might be competing for Aruba or something. But Joe Jimenez was going to compete, but he pulled out. So I think those are the last. We don't have a lot of people competing in the WBC. I think Ronald and Eddie and maybe Chadwick Trump is the only one I can think of. Elvis Andrus signed a he pulled out just to he wanted to be super healthy for us and he pulled out. So I think that was the only other one. Elvis Andrus signed a 1-year deal with the White Sox. Stamping for now that the Braves are going with Vaughn Grisham and Orlando Arcia, which I think that's a vote of confidence for Vaughn. Obviously, we may not that may change, but I think it's a real vote of confidence for that kid. And Orlando Arcia is a very capable veteran. So, because Elvis Andrus was the veteran stopgap that everyone talked about during. I think unless something happens, I think we're okay with. I think we're okay with Von Grisham and Arcia, but yeah, we could get Simba and see what happens, but I think we're okay. Yeah. Apparently, everybody thinks that the Dodgers have fixed Jason Hayward. He's looked pretty good so far in some videos that I've seen, but I don't know that he can keep the swing thoughts and the swing as he wants it. He's always had the long issue, so I don't know there, but that could be a fun, interesting story to watch. But Eli White seems pretty confident going into spring training. So that's nice. Roster bubble guy feeling confident and getting a fresh start in spring training. So that's nice. Yeah, I even if it's fixed, I don't know. I really don't. I think he's still a quality defender, but I mean, yeah, he is still in a minor league deal. You're right. So, I don't know. He's definitely got to have a really good spring training for that to happen. But he's a great leader and a great veteran. So maybe they'll go that route. I don't know. But it's a less flashy offseason than we're usually used to for the Dodgers. No, I haven't seen anything specifically on those two guys, Sam Hilliard, Jordan Luplow. But I know they were there, and I know they were there early. But specifically from the Braves insiders, no, I have not heard anything. I think Sam Hilliard's probably the longest shot because he has no minor league options, but that is just my overall case. Kipnis, former Braves Ghost Stripers legend in 2021, retired. He was so fun to watch with the Indians, so he retired.
And your next line's free. Get unlimited for $29.99 a month, and your next line is free for 12 months.
How do I now feel that we brought Kolby Allard back? It's honestly still up in the air for me because I don't know what his role is going to be. Although I do appreciate the pitching depth, I just don't. I mean, 191 strikeouts is nothing to sneeze at, but I'm just kind of confused by that deal. I get that we saved $2.5 million, opened up the roster spot, and Kolby Allard has some minor league stuff, so there's depth there possibly. I don't know. I don't know if there's something to unlock there that I'm not seeing. I'm very, very skeptical of that. Yeah, Fred McGriff is good for him to not choose a cap. I think because he was so solid with everybody, I think that makes sense for him, and I think that's a good thing to not alienate somewhat the teams you play for, because he was solid across the board. So good decision on his part for sure. Yeah, I think Kolby Allard is my least favorite move, but I'll be glad to eat my words if it becomes a key piece to our 2023 puzzle and beyond. I really, really hope I eat my words, because he was the 14th overall pick in the draft, and that's nothing to sneeze at. So I'm not gonna knock it, even though I just did, but I'm not going to knock it unless, if he gives me a reason to be excited, then I will definitely be excited. And then Mike Soroka was held out of a workout a week or so ago with hamstring tightness, but he did play catch the next day, and they're just being super. Michael Soroka, sorry guys, it's spring training for me too. Michael Soroka. But they're just being super cautious with that. So that is good. There's really no February 25th at 1 o'clock is the first televised spring training game. It will be on MLB Network. Obviously, I will cover it recap wise as I usually do. Bryce Elder, I think it's between Bryce Elder and Ian Anderson, to be honest. But Michael Soroka could sneak in there. Man, how many times am I going to do that this year? But yeah, Bryce Elder, I think, has the upper hand going forward and going because he was just so vital and so important and really solid for us down the stretch last year when we had influx there. So that is very, very important there. CJ, if you're still in here, I'm sorry I missed saying hi to you, but thanks for hanging as always. But yeah, Bryce Elder definitely has the upper hand. I like what I've seen from Ian Anderson this offseason. Working tirelessly. It looks like on the Wake Forest pitching lab looks slimmer, looks raring to go, and he was one of those guys that were there really early, so I like that. I'm not gonna put anything past Charlie Morton, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Hey, Jameson. Thought we were gonna miss you today. But I don't know. Charlie, I'm not gonna put anything past Charlie because he seems to kick Father Time in the teeth. As long as he apparently a lot of people are in on the name Dylan Dodd, so put that name. Possibly Jared Schuster as well. But apparently Dylan Dodd had a simulated game or throwing live VP with Ronald and Eddie Rosario and Chadwick Trump, and they had really they struggled with Dylan Dodd's stuff. So definitely keep that name in the back of your mind. Jared Schuster is definitely a thought too as well. I'm sure there's gonna be a rando. Oh my God, that guy! It's that guy in our. And the funny thing is, our farm system is ranked one of the bottom 3, but we always find that guy. So, we'll see what happens. I think Nick Anderson, obviously and health and such is going to be a big thing for Nick Anderson, but I think that might be one of the most underrated moves we made during this offseason. And yeah, Ronald and Eddie struggling with somebody that may open some eyes, especially Ronald. No, there should not be any concern with the Kyle Wright news because he feels fresh, he feels good. They're just being very cautious with it, and he's still gonna get some run in the latter part of spring training. So he doesn't seem concerned. So I'm not gonna be. The cortisone shots is it makes you pause a little bit, but I'm not gonna be concerned because he's not. So that's my overall thought about it. And I mean, as long as everything that comes out is precautionary, and he's still gonna get some stuff in spring training, and he said that he feels fresh, feels amazing. So we're cool with that right now, but obviously probably something to monitor, and they will monitor for sure. But no, I'm not concerned. But obviously everybody will monitor it as everything does, but no. if I was gonna rank the left field competition, I would rank in like possibility of making the team. Number 1 would be Jordan Luplow for me. Number 2 would be Kevin Pillar. Number 3 would be Eli White. And number 4 would be Sam Hilliard. Number 5 would be Marcelo Ozuna. I'm just going to put Marcelo Ozuna last just because he's not my favorite person right now, and I don't think he's been any of our favorite person. But that is my ranking. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but Kevin Pillar would be awesome to me if any team can hang with anybody for a short period of time. I don't think it'll last, but because Louisville has just hit absolute rock bottom. Yeah, and Pilar has some back of the bubblegum card. Back of the bubblegum card experience that would be nice. Plus, it's a $3 million, so that's not a lot. I think I most likely see Kevin Pillar and Jordan Luplow, even though Eli White would be a awesome option for speedster stuff off the bench, that kind of thing. So obviously I can't wait for spring training to start because that's the battle I'm most interested in. Yeah, I mean, you never want to see that. It's scary, but I appreciate Kevin Pillar for the way he handled it with Jacob Webb and how Jacob Webb was able to bounce back pretty okay, honestly. So that's a good thing. Yes, Sam Hilliard is forced to me just because he doesn't have any minor league options, so he basically has to make the team. So that's saying that he has a lot of extra pressure a little bit, but I guess not really because if he has a solid spring training, he can go sign with other teams. But I will say Sam Hilliard is the mold of the hitter that we like to get, kind of a Robbie Grossman type of guy, where we get him in our system with our analytics, something starts to click. So there's a hope for him, and that for sure. So like I said, that's why it's the most intriguing battle to me, because there's a lot of options, but as a whole, you can see that we went defense first, or defense is more their calling card. I would say Kevin Pillar has the most offensive resume of all of the guys that we brought in. But again, the Braves coaching staff has worked dubious magic with a lot of people, so we're going to see which. Oh yeah, I forgot about Eddie. I was just talking about of the guys that we brought in. But yeah, I think Eddie's probably got the inside track. Again, it depends on how the WBC and his early spring training goes. But yeah, I think Eddie's definitely gonna have a bounce back. But since I just ranked the guys that we brought in, but I did not factor in Eddie Rosario, so that's my bad. Thanks, Joseph, on that. But yeah, I think Eddie Rosario. I think Eddie Rosario is definitely gonna have a bounce back year. He's not as bad as he was last year with the hole in the eye, and I don't think he's as good as he was in the playoffs. But would I love it? Yes, obviously all of us would. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Eli White has breakneck speed, and with the new pickoff rule, and pitch outs are probably going to be a big thing too. I think speed is going to come back into play, so that's a good point. So there's going to be a lot of decisions, and that's why as we expand this discussion, as we have every point that everyone brings up, it makes Marcell Ozuna look less and less like he's gonna make the team. I think Eddie, like I said, I don't think he's as bad as last year with the hole in the eye and all of that stuff. And then I don't think he's as good as he was in the playoffs, but I think he's somewhere in between because he did have a 32 homer season with the Minnesota Twins before he went to Cleveland when we acquired him in the 2021 deadline. So I think there's still something there for Eddie, and I really want him to bounce back because I love him and I will always love him for the magic he provided in the 2021 run. I hope so, because he just continues to irk everybody. Like he said that I know there's still fans that love me, and the fans that don't I really don't care, don't mind them. And he blamed his terrible throwing on inflammation in his shoulder that he'd been dealing with since 2021. So he's just finding every excuse, and that is not the mentality that I want on my team. Exactly. So I don't have any place for Marcell Ozuna in my mind. Now I can tolerate it if he hits 35 homers and 100 plus RBIs, but I don't see that happening. And yes, we were below 500 with Eddie, so he was a big part of 2021. So I'm hoping there's some in between with Eddie Rosario, and can't wait to see it. But yeah, I think a lot of us are done with Marcell Ozuna, and I think this might be his fourth chance. So unless he hits about 350 in spring training, something may happen because we've tried to trade him twice already. Get help reaching your goals with JP Morgan Wealth Plan, a new tool in the Chase mobile app. Use it to set and track your goals, big and small, and see how changes you make today could help put them within reach. Yeah. He's got no room to. He's got no room for error, and I don't think anyone cares anymore. Like, and he has no room to make quotes or any of that. So That is unfortunate for Giannis, but I think he avoided complete disaster, and the Milwaukee Bucks are in a good spot, but that I think they can weather it. But Marcelo's gonna. We'll see what happens, but I don't want to waste any more of my breath with him, even though I'm gonna have to do a spring training video recap of today's news soon after I get off here. So I'll waste my breath one more time, I guess. And Shohei Ohtani's agent just said, or I just saw on the bottom line, said that he's going to explore free agency. So that is not a surprise. No, he has not blocked anyone. And I think the only place that Marcelo Zuna fits anymore is DH, and I don't even know if he fits there. But we'll see. We don't have a really young left fielder because we thought Christian Pache and Drew Waters was going to be the answer. Hi. Thank you. But my hair is wild today. Sorry, guys. Ohtani is going to make bank. I just hope it's not with the New York Mets. Wow, that's a lot of applesauce. I love what the Panthers have done with the head coaching stuff. Real quick, Shohei Ohtani better not go to the Mets because I really like Shohei Ohtani, so I don't want to have to root against him. That's my only thought there, and he's going to make absolute bank, as Hudson said. I did see that the Japanese pitcher struggled with the mound in his first bullpen. And I didn't realize he was already 30 and they had concerns about his physical. Yeah, and the Dodgers are always going to be a big time concern. But my thoughts on, oh my God. No, but I think the Angels screwed themselves by their owner not selling and getting a fresh start in that way. But my thoughts on the Carolina Panthers hires, I am so happy with all of them because I just think it's a great mix of veterans, young guns, and guys that have played in the league if they haven't coached, and a lot of them have done both. So that is just really, really awesome. And I'm really, really excited to see the players that we incorporate. Yeah, they would. But I mean, if they're really, they would rebuild their team quickly if they did trade Shohei Ohtani. But I don't even know if there's a package that would be accurate to his value, to be honest. So, yeah. It's just weird to think about because he would probably get like 2 times as more as the Juan Soto deal, and I thought that was the best package that anybody's gotten for a star, at least in baseball. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Us getting D'Angelo Hall.
And with no fees and minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
You could stand Shohei Ohtani being on the Dodgers. Yeah, you're right, Hudson. They would have to be 1,000% out of the playoffs, especially with the new wild card. If Shohei Ohtani was on the Dodgers, I think I would quit baseball, because although they keep getting stars and not really making it work. So I don't know, but I don't like the Dodgers at all. So between the Dodgers and the Mets, I really can't decide which team I don't like.
Pack at your pace. Store your things until you're ready. Then we deliver to your new home.
That's a good good way to put it, Hudson. But I just prefer them to be normal for once, but I don't think they are. I don't think they'll ever be, so I guess I can give up on that dream. Freddie being on the Dodgers is what it is now to me. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Manny Machado said he's going to opt out this next year, and he turned down 5 years, 180 on top of what he's already made. And he wants 10 years, $400 million. The only person that's getting 10 years, $500 million is Shohei Ohtani. I don't know what else could Manny Machado want. You're playing with Xander Bogaerts. You're playing with Juan Soto. You're playing with, although Juan Soto may opt out, I don't know. But I don't see Manny Machado getting that much money. I just don't. He may, because the free agency market is kind of weak compared to this year, but I don't think I would pay it for sure.
What kept you moving forward? What kept you working through some of those obstacles here? My community. So I wasn't by myself. I had a black community around me, but I also had teammates. So every time I stepped on this court, 4 other guys stepped on the court with me. So I
am happy for Michigan State to start the healing process. It sucks that we have to continue to heal from tragedy, but yes, I am happy for Tom Izzo and Michigan State doing what they're doing to help the healing process. That's what the beauty of sports. And that's the dumb part, the unfortunate part of our world now, but I'm really glad that sports can provide some healing. today's dinner is shrimp and applesauce. Just yeah. You're not gonna get better weather, better baseball, better blah blah. Like, I just think he's the grass isn't always greener no matter where he goes, because only one team wins the World Series every single year, regardless if you win the off season, the free agency, all of that stuff. So I think that is not. Yeah, Manny Machado is not one of my favorite people. He's a great baseball player, but
No, that's what we're gonna have to talk to Flip about. That was bad.
but that's his prerogative. But San Diego, you really can't get better than that. Like you said, Jameson, I don't know. But Michael Fulmer agreed to a contract with the Chicago Cubs, 1 year, $4 million, for a wild card, and maybe the Central, given the stuff with. I don't have an opinion on Corey Alexander at all. I really don't. He's not bad to me, but I guess I honestly don't pay attention a lot. In terms of these type of games, and announcers is on just for background noise right now. But yeah, the back to the Cubs are a weird one to me. They've made a lot of additions, but they're either going to hit the cover off the ball for 2 months or strike out for 2 months straight, it feels like. And some very interesting pitching options as well, that you don't know what role they kind of play, and they don't really have much of a farm systems to rely on, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a very interesting team that I really can't figure out. I don't dislike some of the moves they made, obviously, but I just, if they don't get off to a good start, it could be it could be an issue. So that's just my opinion on the Cubs, because I saw that move come across my Twitter. And just for the record, if Twitter does go away or whatever, I will still be doing my stuff. Every Monday we'll do this. And once the season starts, I will figure out a game watch live schedule thing too as well, and all of this other stuff. So make sure you're subscribe, notifications, all that stuff, especially if Twitter goes away, because that's my main source of communication. So
but still has such an impact to his back on the floor. 60-44 Duke.
Oh, I got Instagram and Facebook too. I just and I'll use those, but everything will be through my YouTube channel as well, Facebook and Instagram as well. If Twitter does go by the boards.
John Shire not happy with his team after he watched Roosevelt Wheeler get on the floor, but his guys were standing around, no one diving after the basketball. And we've talked about Kenny Payne continuing to try to coach each and every moment with a inexperienced team. John Shire may have the youngest team when you think about it. Of course, he has a couple
but that's hopefully LeBron James's wrist is okay, or hand, whatever he injured last night. I don't know why people are bashing the All-Star game. It's the only game that guys can just play, have fun, and not have to really worry about it. So I don't know. I really don't know why. I really don't know why people bashed it so much. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be that type of thing. So I think people are overblowing that. Nice, Hudson, finally done with work. Well, I'm technically not, because I have to get off here and do a couple of videos, and then I'm working on a project that I'm trying to get done too for some the thing that I've been trying to get done for a while, but procrastinating because people continue to make moves. But I had the All-Star game on in the background. I liked Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown going at each other, having fun, raining threes. There possibly could be another Twitter scare because Elon Musk keeps talking about like having to pay for certain things and things like that. So, and I don't think I'm gonna do that. So, having to pay for Twitter is not a thing that I'm gonna do. But he keeps threatening that kind of stuff. But I'm really glad, Hudson, you're done with work, and that's always good.
While Flonase takes hours, Astapro starts working in 30 minutes. So you can Astapro and go.
That's true. I mean, but I also think it's an exhibition game, and it shouldn't really be that serious. But they did take the fourth quarter less serious than they have since they changed it. So I get it, but it's also, I mean, so I get it in some sense, but maybe they'll fix it. Just not worry about. I mean, I don't know. Just take it more seriously next year in the fourth quarter, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I get it. But it is what it is, and it's only one night of the thing. But I agree. They should have been taken a little more seriously in the fourth quarter. But I think it was also because of how big of a lead Team Giannis had before the fourth quarter, maybe. That played factor. I don't know. But But I mean, I think the MLB All-Star Game is probably the best, honestly, but I may be a little biased, but whatever. Yeah, the target score is cool. I just think they didn't play hard for the target score. I think that's what we're all getting at, and I think they need to do that a little bit more. But I mean, it's also for them, and there was already a lot of guys that were injured that couldn't play. So there was that. But I mean, if that's the, I mean, I appreciate that they at least tried to make it a thing, and I think people forgot that the fourth quarter is supposed to be somewhat competitive, but it is what it is. And I do like that MLB has kind of expanded it a little bit with microphones and talking to players and all that stuff. So I like that, and I like that the MLB All-Star Game doesn't determine the World Series. I really like that, so that's nice. So, the Pro Bowl, it seemed to get more love, and I appreciate that they've tried to revamp it and make it fun, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the little skills competitions and that kind of stuff. So yeah, competitive pride for sure, and definitely just overall competitive. The MLB All-Star Game, but I bet Brian McCann's still angry because the last time he won the MVP in 2010 of the All-Star Game, and that was the only time they give a trophy. The rest of the All-Star MVPs get a car or something. So that's kind of funny. That's kind of really funny. I can't get into NASCAR, and they might kick me out of Charlotte, but I can't get into NASCAR. I respect it, but I don't know. But NASCAR, the Daytona 500, the All-Star race, those I at least follow on the bottom line. So those are the most that's about the most that I pay attention to NASCAR, to be honest. But I'm glad their All-Star stuff is nice, and
It won't be for Notre Dame, but you're talking about one of the better coaches, especially with the offense in the floor, that this game has seen over the past 20 seasons. I hope we can grab it for a little while on ESPN.
Yeah, the trophy was sweet though. You're right. That was a good trophy, but Brian McCann seems to have gotten jabbed. Jabbed a little bit. But yeah, that crystal bat was kind of sick. You're right. Yep. But yeah. But I
getting close to 5 minutes on the drought for the Blue Devils, and now an opportunity for the Cards to cut this to single digits.
The NFL, when that free agency stuff starts, that's going to be nuts to watch. It's going to be fun, along with the baseball. And like I said, the first game for that is February 25th at 1 o'clock on MLB Network. So that's fun, and I'm really glad that spring training and stuff has started to give us some workouts and give us the sounds of spring training and all that love. And there's nothing sweeter than a ball hitting the bat and the pop of the glove. And boy, Sean Murphy's pop time is something to behold. I think the only one that's closest or may have beat it a little bit is JT Realmuto. And I really, really think Sean Murphy is going to thrive, especially with the overshift going away. He already had 134 hits without the overshift and the shift rules. So I think he's going to be one of the best overall players in baseball this year, and I cannot wait for that.
With trash, Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us. Trust not to be broken.
So that is really, really awesome. We've almost hit an hour. So do you guys have any questions, comments, any of that before I sign off for the week and let you guys go? I'm surprised we actually got an hour because I didn't really have that much. But you guys made the conversation full, which I really, really love. And it's awesome. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps out a lot. My channel is on a good heater right now, thanks to you guys, and thanks to a lot of things. So, all right. As always, go Braves, champions forever. I'll see you guys next week, and we'll probably by next week we'll talk about actual baseball games and the spring training battles. So that'll be super, super fun. Have a good night, guys. Take it easy.